Welcome to Introduction to Types. In this video, we are going to look at the basic types in Python. This will include integers, floats, doubles, and strings. For this video, we will not be working in the Atom editor, but instead on the command line in Python's interactive shell, which is a great environment for testing. So type Python, and if you press Tab, you'll see all the versions of Python on your computer. Clearly, I have very many, so let's pick a version of Python 3. So I'm going to pick Python 3.5, but you guys can pick Python 3.4, or any version of Python 3 will work for this. So now we are in the Python interactive shell, which is an environment where nothing is saved permanently, but it's great for testing out language features and so on. So far we've only seen one kind of type, which is the string. Something like hello world, and then you put quotes, and then you finish off the string quotes. And in the interactive shell, you can just print things and call normal Python commands like usually would. In Python, strings can contain like Unicode characters. For instance, I can say that the square root of 4 is equal to plus or minus 2. And that is a valid string. But I can also have fancier Unicode characters like a string of hearts, and then it'll print hearts. However, strings are not the only data type that we can have in Python. We can also have an integer, which is a whole number. So an integer, for instance, could be 123, or another integer could be minus 5. And if we want to check what the type of integer is, we can say print type integer. Cool. And then it says, alright, this is an integer. Great. And integers can be very large in Python, so I can have, make sure you do not put any minus signs. I can have very big integers. Python does not restrict you on the size of the integer as long as it fits in memory. And there we go, it is an integer. Another type that we have in Python and in most programming languages is what are called floating point numbers. And floating point numbers are as good as it gets when we are trying to represent decimal numbers. So I can have a real number, say 3.1415, so pretty close to pi. And if I print type of this real number, that says, oh, this real number is actually a float. Now let's see what happens if I say do this. So I give it the number 3.1 and I give it a really precise precision. Now you would expect that I get a real number back again if I print it out. However, notice that Python has only retained a certain number of decimal digits for the precision of this even more precise number. And the reason is the internal representation of a floating point number is restricted to a certain number of bits, meaning that we can only be precise to a certain degree. However, if you do want more precision, there are ways around this. Next, let's have a look at how we can convert between types. So suppose I have a floating point number a, which is 3.4. And I also have a floating number b, which is 3.9. And if I want a and b to suddenly be integers, then what I can do is I can say print, and I can say int a, and then I get 3. So it rounded from 3.4 to 3, but I can also convert b to an integer, and also convert it to 3, and not 4. So when you're converting floating points to integers, the conversion rounds down. This is also known as casting. So I'm casting a floating point to an integer. Now suppose I have c, which is an integer. I can convert this integer to a float by simply going the other way and saying float. I can say that is equal to 3.0, which is a floating point number. In this video, we learned all about Python types, the difference between integers, floats, doubles, and strings. In the next video, we are going to cover some of the basic arithmetic operators Python has to offer.